No, yeah, almost. Oh, they changed the pictures, so. It's just upstairs.
Apartment.
Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada.
have something on.
So Srila Prabhupada started here in 1966. Mukunda lived not too far away, and Prabhupada was staying with him until he found this place. But then his name was Michael. Right?
Michael.
Here. And so Michael and Keith and Steve and Judy. Jarani was Judy, right? Steve was Swarup.
Yeah.
Keith was Kirtananda.
Yeah.
So they would have programs here, and we'll go there later. But they would walk and have kirtan to Tontikan Square Park, where they would sit and have kirtan, chanting the Lord's name, Hare Krishna, for hours. And we'd come here, and Prabhupada would give a class every evening. And sometimes he would have to step over the winos and the derelicts that were outside along the streets. And they'd put their shoes there, and Prabhupada would sit and give class, chanting. He had a dais that was different than this. So many people would come and be amazed by his transcendental Krishna Katha, delineating the purpose of the human form of life and the absolute necessity in the human form of life of dedicating oneself to self-realization, understanding the real self, not misidentifiing with this body. He spread Krishna consciousness starting from this place. His apartment was right upstairs. They would serve prasadam, and Jadharani, Shamrani, she had her paint studio there in the same room as Prabhupada, and he would be translating to so many different of his transcendental purports and giving so much transcendental knowledge through the Srimad Bhagavatam. And he brought with him many Srimad Bhagavatam, first, second, and third part of the first canto. I think 60 sets or 50 sets, and he would give them to notable people and sell them to notable people. We were just in Bhakti Bandhav temple, and they had the first, second, and third temple, the first, second, and third canto, the original books that Srila Prabhupada brought in that trunk from India. He only came with like 40 rupees, like $2 or $3. But he came with so much in his heart and so much nishta in his Gurudev to spread Krishna consciousness in the West that he was given that instruction in 1922. So he worked so hard for many years and tried to establish himself in his business as a pharmaceutical manufacturer. And at one time he had big customers and was doing very good. But Krishna gradually took it away, took his family away. But he gave him so much impetus to come here. If he didn't go under so much hardships, finally getting a passage on a Scindia ship plane, Srimati Marorji, Scindia shipping, she gave him free passage, and what was he, 70?
Yeah.
And how old was he?
70. 69, 70. Yeah, it's 70.
Over 65. So anyway, and on that voyage, he had 2 heart attacks, and he. It's amazing. We can read his story of his coming and passage. It's amazing. He said, if I would have had another heart attack, then that would have been it. And he had a dream that Krishna was the captain of the ship, and the ship was going, and then he wrote a beautiful poem that he wrote just north of here in Boston Harbor, and then he came to New York. And when he said, why have you brought me here to this place? Why have you brought me here? They're all in ignorance. they're so engulfed in trying to give pleasure to what they think is the self, which is the body, which is giving them so much distress and so much anxiety. So please make your words suitable. Make my words your words, so that I will touch their hearts and able to give them the message of my Guru Maharaj, who's ordered me to come here to give this message of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to so many fallen conditioned souls. So if he didn't do that, none of us would be here. We're so grateful to him. And this is the first temple, 26 2nd Avenue. So we bow down to his lotus feet and thank him for his so much hard endeavor and serious and surrendered devotion that he had to bring such a high consciousness and high gift to the fallen conditioned souls like ourselves in this Western world. Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Jai Gaur Premanand.
Jai Gaur Premanand. Coming here, extremely emotional, historic. This look, when Prabhupada, you saw him, he looked not so tall, just short, but he created the revolution of revolutions, this one personality. I'm reminded of the Radha Damodar temple, very similar, this small place where he was. But he had such a grand vision to serve his spiritual master and to fulfill Mahaprabhu's prophecy. He's the proof that it only takes one Mahabhagavat only to save the entire universe. And he's the proof. His legacy is completely outstanding. It continues to grow year by year into the stratosphere. Everybody knows his name all over the world now. World leaders are coming to him. Modi is coming and made a coin of him now. His figurine is on a coin in India. And the British Prime Minister of England, coming to him, begging for mercy as he takes the Prime Ministership of England. So Srila Prabhupada A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, he was the beginning and end of his own revolution. No one knew what the revolution was going to look like until he showed up. It was as if all time was waiting for him to descend. He was the one that took the whole Kali Yuga on his back. He knew how to crack the code, the genius pharmaceutical man, who took the Gaudiya Vedanta Siddhanta and emphasized certain things, de-emphasized other things, to create this brand of Krishna consciousness that was very palatable to everyone all over the world. He revolutionized, we were talking about the art and the bhakti art in that center, how he has such a different view of Krishna that's very universally appealing. So I remember Maharaj said very nicely, he said, two main qualities of Srila Prabhupada was that no one can attract anyone to Krishna like him, and no one can manage like him. These two qualities of A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. He had such great affection for even the smallest children, and how he managed this society, it was completely awestruck for people. He was just chanting and everything was going on. Krishna told him, he said that you just focus on writing my books and I'll take care of everything else. And so that is what he did. He's given us the greatest presentation of the Srimad Bhagavatam that anyone has ever seen. His purports are the reason why the whole world has come to Krishna consciousness, because his purports are so genius pieces of writing. He had a particular style that could cut through anything very clear. The commoner, the newcomer like the winos, all these, they could come to Krishna consciousness by reading his purports, and also the highest person in society. So his accomplishments, the goshalas, the farms, coming from this small place, all the temples worthwhile, the restaurants, farm communities, the books, And then we go to Krishna Balaram Mandir, we see how extraordinarily he took over all of India. His legacy has surpassed Hinduism even. His Bhagavad Gita as it is, he is the greatest Krishna temple builder in the history of the world. He is the greatest savior of the Jagais and Madhais in the history of the world to come here. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Chaitanya Charitamrita, he tells Nityananda Prabhu, I cannot do what you have done. I saved the aristocratic members of society like Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and Prakashananda Saraswati. But you, Nityananda Prabhu, you have saved the Jagai and the Madhais, the lowest of the low. I cannot do this. So our A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada has even outdone Nityananda Prabhu by coming to the West. Nityananda Prabhu used to go back to, after Harinam Sankirtan, he lived with the devotees. He lived with the sadhus. He went back. But A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, he was alone. He did not go back. He lived with the Vainos. So no sadhu has ever done this in the history of the world. His compassion is off the register. And so he continues to make Jagais and Madhais, more Jagais and Madhais than anyone else in the history of the world. He is the father of the explosion of the Krishna consciousness movement worldwide. And our Bhakti Rakshak Srila Goswami Maharaj has said about him, he said that I take him to be Shaktya Avesh. He says it cannot but be Shaktya Avesh, Shaktya Avesh, Shaktya Avesh. And they asked him, so Maharaj, Bhakti Rakshak Srila Maharaj, so of what incarnation of the Shakti Avesh is he? And he said, Nityananda Shakti. Because Nityananda Prabhu was the one who saved Jagai and Madhai. So that boundless compassion that Prabhupada had, saving, continuing daily. He makes more devotees than anyone else in the history of the world, every day in every culture of the world, because of his preaching and his purport. So powerful. So the greatest savior of the Jagai and Madhai is in the history of the world. And he has very mercifully brought our Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj as his successor. So Prabhupada has given the foundation for Krishna consciousness, and Srila Gurudev has given us the roof, which is Radhadasyam. Our Prabhupada didn't mention Radhadasyam, but he did all the time. Every time he ever spoke, gave a class, he always sang the 4 stanza song. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Jaya fulfilled Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's 500+ year prophecy that this Hare Krishna Mahamantra would go to every town and village all over the world. People after the Goswamis in India, they thought maybe this Harinam Sankirtan is only meant to spread to every town and village in India. But Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he had a vision. He said, no, Japanese, Chinese, French, English, Spanish, they will all be gathering in Navadvip Dham and they will be singing the names of Gaurapari. And he gave this vision to his son Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Srila Prabhupada. And so Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Bhakti Siddhanta, he was actually the one who coined the phrase that the East is captured by the glamour of the Western civilization. And that in order to change India, you have to first change the West. Then the Indians will follow. So Prabhupada took this in his heart and used it as the strategy. To first come make Krishna, the West Krishna conscious, then the East will follow. So the whole explosion of Krishna consciousness and the renaissance of Krishna consciousness in India, with all the temples being built, and is all because of Prabhupada's strategy of coming to this place right here, starting here.
Lame man and the blind man.
Lame man and the blind man, yes. So the West is blind and India was lame, and so Prabhupada had the strategy of uniting them together this way. But it all started in Radha Damodar, and then it came to this particular apartment right here where it all started. So Prabhupada is the architect of, principal architect of Gaura Lila in the Danya Kali Yuga. We can see this everywhere. We're in Gaura Lila's pastimes, this Nam Sankirtan movement. But all because of him. So 4 individuals are really responsible for this explosion of the Krishna consciousness movement worldwide. Mahaprabhu prophesizes it, Bhakti Vinod Thakur envisions it, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur seeds it, and A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada executes it. So these are responsible for this omnipresent explosion of Krishna consciousness all over the world. And it's continuing to go. It can never stop. Prabhupada says that this movement can never be destroyed from outside. There's some problems, whatever, but it's still going on. So every breath we take, every atom we take into our bodies, as A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami's name perennially stamped on them as our eternal benefactor and peerless redeemer. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Your ever well-wisher.
Your ever well-wisher.
So he attracted so many influential persons. Allen Ginsberg, he was very popular amongst the hippies, very, very popular. And he came here and he was so attracted to Srila Prabhupada. So attracted. And he influenced many, many people to come to this place and find shelter at Srila Prabhupada's lotus feet. And also in San Francisco. From here he sent devotees out, Montreal, Boston, San Francisco, so many, Santa Fe. They started temples, and if we read about these accomplishments, they're like completely monumental. They're like so volcanic. His energy, like Bhaktivedanta Maharaj. Similarly, Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, he had so much of this volcanic energy. And some of his personal servants, they said they never saw really he slept. Maybe for an hour and a half, but he was always chanting or writing or preaching. And he would stay up all hours and go to so many programs so far away just to speak to a few people, and it would have so much effect. We can't imagine his dedication, and such an inspiring personality that has created a revolution in the misdirected civilization of the Western world, like ourselves. Srila Prabhupada.
Srila Gurudev also said, I've not seen an acharya like him. Not like him. He's just extraordinary accomplishment, and that's why Bhakti Rakshakshridamar says it. Shakyavesh.
Can I
Yeah.
glorify Prabhupada to viewers or Sade?
Sure.
You want to say something?
Everyone speak.
Like Gore said, like Maharaj said, basically, Prabhupada was our greatest benefactor. He had so much love and affection for us. We didn't really know him, but he was preparing on the order of his guru to come to figure out the best combination to give to the West so that we can have this mercy from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. What is this, Rajharas, what is the Hare Krishna mantra, what is the Srimad Bhagavatam, what is the nectar of Srimad Bhagavatam that can benefit the whole world. And we're very grateful to him because in my case, when I started meeting the devotees, I had just given up being an alcoholic at such a young age. And yes, it's true. It's 15 when I stopped drinking. And I met the devotees from there, coming first from Brooklyn Temple. What was that, Henry Street?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember every day they would go out on Harinam, and sometimes I'd be downtown with my mother. And one day I saw a big party, maybe 30 devotees doing kirtan, and I remember the tilak and the red cloth. And my mother grabbed me, "What are you doing? Let's go." And I said, "No, Mom, the bells." I was really attracted to the cartels. I kept saying, "No, the bells.
How old were you?
I don't know, maybe 12, something like that. And since that time, I've met so many of his disciples who are very, very nurturing and help me in so many ways. And we can never repay him. We can never repay Srila Prabhupada. We can only just try to follow what he taught and then give it to others, And so I'm very appreciative what Srila Prabhupada gave us and all his disciples who helped me so many ways from my youth to now. Even some are still here. Bhumipati, Mukunda Prabhu. I remember I was maybe 17 and I went to Mukunda's house, or he was in front of my house, and I was asking him, what was this tour like? He was a musician at the time. And he said, "Oh, I just came back from this tour. The whole Earth, Wind and Fire band, they're all vegetarian." And I was like, "The whole band vegetarian?" So I said, "Well, you think I should become a vegetarian?" He said, "Yeah, you should." So I went to the library and tried to learn, about vegetarianism. Then we met the actual devotees, and I tried to go to the temple and learn from them how to go to my mother's house and cook something, but it was never the same. No matter what spice I put, it was never the same. And later on I learned the secret because, Krishna's lips touched this food. And so we learned that secret also, how to offer our food, give our whole heart to hearing and chanting, and give our heart to the sadhus who have come. And that's what I was telling Maharaj recently, Buddhida Jana, that these are the greatest benefactors, these persons who come to explain the message of Srimad Bhagavatam. And it's completely overwhelming, and it's so merciful to us. This picture, I remember this picture here. One half is Mahaprabhu Leela, the other half is, this is Radha Krishna Leela. And I was always thinking, wow, that is so amazing. But I never knew that this could be our destination. I just thought it was like an amazing thing that Mahaprabhu, they're in the same, on the same planet. And now hearing from, especially Srila Gurudev, that this could be our destination. If you do your bhajan in such a way, you can be in both precocious simultaneously serving. And this is the condition of our Guru Varga. And now, Prabhupada, he loved us so much that he made arrangements for us to take shelter after his departure from Srila Bhakti Rasak Sridhara Maharaj and Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. This is his great love to us, that he asked these two sadhus to continue to help us. Then later on, Gurudev wrote in one of his books, trying to remember the name of the book, but he said that when the Guru departs from this world, and he enters into the heart of one of his near and dear associates, and he continued to train his disciples. And so when I read that, I was thinking, wow, Srila Prabhupada is still here with us. He's helping through this other personality, Bhaktivedanta Narayan Maharaj. And recently in Badger, I was thinking the same thing, and I was thinking, now Gurudev has disappeared from our vision, but because of his love for us, he's again appeared in the heart of another dear friend and associate who's in this room right now, Bhakti Swarup Sridhara Maharaj. And so this is their great mercy. We can never repay them, but we can try by trying to become good devotees and also sharing the message of Mahaprabhu. And so on this day, I offer my pranam, Srila Prabhupada, and all his disciples who've helped me. And we pray for their causes mercy that we can also, we just came from this beautiful temple upstate New York, Ellenville. And there we had the darshan of what our destination can actually be like, Nikunja Yuna, and serving like this. And it's just a very fascinating thing, from playing basketball and smoking cigarettes and drinking wine. Now I have the opportunity to go to this high place and serve Radha Krishna like this. It's amazing. So I'm offering my pranam to Srila Prabhupada and Srila Gurudev. Srila Bhakti Baba Puri Maharaj also came to this very room. And when he was, there were more pictures on the wall. And he was going, this syringe of tears flowing, hitting the wall. And that was also an amazing thing to meet your Gurudev and see that exhibition of, praying and love like that. Then from here we went to where we're going now, to the park there, and he sat under that tree, famous Harikatha tree. And every day he spoke Srimad Bhagavatam. And we gave him a mango, and he would speak maybe 2 hours every day. And that was also amazing. And he stayed just where we were, the same building. He would stay with Dr. Gopal, but then he would come to this building we were just at. He would come there every day and speak. We'd give kirtan, and then he would speak. And he was roaring about the mercy of Mahaprabhu. It's like so strong, powerful. So all these personalities, they come by the mercy of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta, so our whole Guru Parampara, we're indebted to them. And by sending Srila Prabhupada, our Srila Prabhupada, and sending other acharyas to come here to help us, this is the great mercy of Mahaprabhu and Radha Krishna. And this opportunity may never come again. So we should try to take advantage of it. Anyway, thank you very much. Thank you, Maharaj.
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Kristaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Tenamini Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pachani Nirvishesha Sunyavai Paschachadi Shatani Guruve Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadale Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadabhaktaya Namo Namo. So it feels very powerful to be here and in this place where Prabhupada established his Krishna conscious movement, and looking into his eyes in the picture, I feel Prabhupada's presence.
Absolutely.
I never personally met Srila Prabhupada, but I love Srila Prabhupada. Because Prabhupada, oh please forgive me coming late to your movement. I visited ISKCON in 1972. Prabhupada left in 1977, so 5 years visiting the temples, but never actually joined the temple or took initiation until Prabhupada left. But I feel that it's his Shakti and what he was channeling through him that attracted me to Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, I would have not known anything about Krishna Bhakti. So I feel very intimately connected with Srila Prabhupada, and therefore served his International Society for Krishna Consciousness for many years, 20, 25 years, distributing his books and in so many different ways in the temple, preaching, managing, collecting money. And through that service, especially through his disciples and reading his books, I developed a sambandha with Prabhupada that is deepening, continuing to deepen. The more I learn about Bhakti and the deeper I can realize the great wealth of Krishna consciousness, the closer I get to Srila Prabhupada. He's so magnificent, so magnanimous. And his mercy came to me through various persons, especially Srila Govinda Maharaj, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayana Goswami Maharaj. And it's continuing to flow through Sadhu Sangha. So Prabhupada brought us Braj Leela Kahani. He brought us the beautiful, sweet conception and realization that Radha and Krishna in Vrindavan, through his teachings, through his books, through his devotees, through his temples. And I'm continuing to serve Prabhupada every day by studying his books and being so inspired by his transcendental emotional ecstasies that he gives in his purports. And the more sadhu sangha I get, then the more I go deeper into Prabhupada's purports and realize more and more how deep was the ocean of Prabhupada's bhav. I just getting a glimpse, but it's incredibly wonderful and deep. So very happy to be here today with the Vaishnavas and feel Prabhupada's mercy in his presence. I pray that he blesses us all, that we can continue what he started here on 26 2nd Avenue and continue to spread Krishna consciousness all over the world and continue to deepen our bhakti, because without realization and ultimately at one point spurti, coming to the level of higher Nishta Ruchi Ashakti Bhav, then our preaching and our life will become more successful. This is what he wanted for all of us. This is what Gurudev wanted. So Srila Prabhupada, thank you so much for your endless sacrifice that you suffered because you felt the pain. Paradukkha dukkhi, you felt the pain. You couldn't tolerate the suffering of the conditioned souls, and you so strictly followed the order of your spiritual master. Sacrificed, made the greatest sacrifice at an old age. So inspiring, your example. And we can never repay you, but we're trying to repay you in some small ways. Please make me your servant, bless us all, that we can continue to serve you and spread this Krishna consciousness movement, establish Varnashram Dharma like you wanted, communities, books, preaching, Sankirtan, everything. Thank you, Srila Prabhupada, for your mercy and for your tremendous service that you did to the Western world. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
He lives eternally in his instructions, and his followers live with him, and the followers of his followers.
I came to this devotional path or Krishna consciousness first by the blessings of Prabhupada. So, the root cause of my presence here also Prabhupada. So when I was studying, I was a science student. And name of college was Khalikot College. Khalikot College. I was a science student. At that time, when I was going to college, I saw ISKCON bosses. They were backside deities and selling the Bhagavad Gita. Then I picked up one Bhagavad Gita. Then I bought that because after reading, I'm looking the photos. Photos were very attractive.
Yes, same
Photos
thing.
were very attractive. So when I saw before that kind of photo I did not see. Very beautiful. So photos were very beautiful, and I started studying few pages. Then it was very attractive. Then I thought I should buy this. Then I bought this and took my room. There I started studying. After studying, my mind changed. As more and I was reading, more interest was coming. So I completely studied whole Bhagavad Gita. Then my desire was increasing that I should become, because you are always telling. So since that day onward, it is in my heart, Prabhupada and his instruction. That's why I always speak. The only business of human form life is to practice Krishna consciousness 24 hours a day. Yeah. So then I thought, by studying what I will do this. If only human form of life's goal is and business is to practice Krishna consciousness, then by studying science and engineering, what I will do? I was thinking. So although I was studying, but my desire was not there to do job, etc. I decided to become sadhu. Yeah. But how to become, at that I had no idea more. Because I was very young that time. Only how many years? 17. My date of birth is 72 and it was 88. How many? 16 years old. 16. Yeah. I was 16 years old. So I was thinking how to become sadhu. I had no idea before. How to become sadhu, where to go, I had no idea. I studied only what to do, where to go, how to become.
Where is the school for sadhus?
Huh? I was thinking, but to become sadhu, where to stay, how to go. And at that time, no idea. Then later on, after that, I met one of my friends who was studying in the same college. Then he told me that in this city there is one temple. In this city where I was sitting, studying, Berampur, then he said that here in one temple where one sadhu is there. Then I told, let us go and see. Then I went. Then there I found my Guru Maharaj. So Prabhupada is the first one who sent to my Guru Maharaj. That's why there is no single day when I don't remember to Prabhupada. Since that day onward. That's why in every lecture, one sentence at least will come from Prabhupada. Because since that day onward, Prabhupada is in my heart. So really Prabhupada brought first to Krishna consciousness through his Bhagavad Gita. Then I started continue studying about all the books. How many books I was trying to find out. Everyone during my studying I already finished it. How many were available, I was buying. So, before giving up home, already Prabhupada's books are in my room, at home. So, they were selling from Bhubaneswara ISKCON, I was getting. So, in Bhubaneswara ISKCON, how many, at that time Gaura Govinda Swami was there. I was able to know him only, in Odisha. So, from Bhubaneswara ISKCON, how many Prabhupada's books were available? And Gaura Govinda Swami translated into Oriya. So I bought all. So before completing my study, already I completed Prabhupada's books to complete. That's why about Prabhupada, so many ideas already from home. Yeah. And that is why it is not easy to forget Prabhupada. So there is no single day, I have been speaking, there is no single day when I forget to Prabhupada. Never. So Prabhupada is my first Bhaktam Pradarshaka Guru.
Yeah.
Then he sent to our Guru Maharaj. Then when I came to our Guru Maharaj, then I started listening about him. So when he was speaking, always crying about Prabhupada. Yeah. You must have seen in the video. Yeah. When he was speaking about Prabhupada, always crying with tears. So since when I heard from our Guru Maharaj about Prabhupada, then more attachment came towards Prabhupada more. Yeah. Then I started to study about his biographies more. Yeah. Then after that I started studying. Then I completed my college. Then I went to mechanical engineering. So after completing that also, then I left home under my Gurudev's instruction. Then I started to know about Prabhupada more and more. Then after studying about him, listening about him from our Guru Maharaj, and by studying the scriptures also, I came to know that really what Prabhupada did, nobody did before. Yeah. Why? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Prithvite Atsejata Nagaradi Gramo, Sarvatra Prasara Hoive Moro Naam. It was only in words. It did not become practical. Mahaprabhu spoke only, but it was in only word. We may say that, yes, prior to Prabhupada, many were preaching, but it was limited. Mahaprabhu's word was not fruitful. Why? Mahaprabhu said, Prithvite Atsejata Nagaradi Gramo. But prior to Prabhupada, it was not in Prithvi. Mahaprabhu did not tell, Bharata is Atsejata Nagaradi Gramo.
Every time.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Everywhere, in whole world.
TV.
Whole world. So Mahaprabhu did not tell only Bharata there. So, who made this? Mahaprabhu's word made fruitful only Prabhupada. So when Prabhupada came, then only Mahaprabhu's real prophecy became successful and fruitful. That's why what Prabhupada did, no Acharya did before him. Yeah. That's why all should be grateful towards him. That is why our Guru Maharaj was also speaking sometime. Some are complaining about, I heard from my Guru Maharaj himself, from his lotus mouth. Some are against about his titles. Yeah. But our Guru Maharaj said, why for this nothing, one title with all are creating problem. No need, no need. What he did service, that is forgetting. So in front of his service, the title is nothing. Yes. Why we are paying attention? All should be grateful to him. Because what service he did, nobody could do before. Because in this old age, we are coming young and we have so many facilities. This is no big problem now.
Yeah.
But where we are sitting, how in great difficulty he was preaching here. That nobody did prior to him. Now, after him who are coming, they have known this problem, what he faced. When he faced, everything was a completely difficult condition. No house, no bathroom, no
money.
vegetarian,
No money.
no money. But now after him, those are, like we are coming before.
Windows restaurant, Bhakti
Yeah,
Center,
Bhakti Center.
everything.
Now we came here, very easy to take
So
prasad.
easy, yeah.
So easy. But when Prabhupada came, it was very difficult to get a non-vegetarian restaurant.
No airplane.
No,
also.
no airplane,
By boat.
only by boat. And it was taking long time. Nowadays we can come within one day.
Yeah, exactly.
So we have all facilities. So if we are doing also, we should give credit to Prabhupada. Yes, all credit should go to. I heard from our Guru Maharaj, for Western preaching, all credit should go to A.C. Bhakti and Swami Prabhupada. Yeah. We are just helping him and nourishing him more. But credit should go to him, then only Mahaprabhu will be happy. I heard from our Guru Maharaj. All credit should go to him, then Mahaprabhu will be really happy. Because what labor he did, We are not doing that. So there are so many glories. All of you know this. I just have my personal experience.
I
Just look, huh?
I have one note that
Yeah.
what I wanted to say is about his Guru Nishta.
Yeah.
He had so much faith in the
Yeah.
words of his Guru.
Yeah.
He gave this instruction to him when he was young.
Yeah.
But he never left that idea that
No.
I have to fulfill the order
Yeah.
of my Gurudev.
Yeah.
So at late stage he did.
Yeah.
So that is
You
very
see,
beautiful example.
When Gurudev said, he did not come immediately. But what Gurudev ordered, he was keeping in his heart. When it was possible, he made it possible. But normally people were thinking, oh, Gurudev told, after few years we are forgetting, we are not doing. But when Gurudev instructed, Bhakti Saraswati Prabhupada instructed him, he was keeping in his mind. But he was trying to find out when it will be possible. Then he was preparing himself before. So first he stopped his business, then came to Bhakti Purana Kesava Goswami to take sannyas. He was in Kesavaji Gaudiya Math. He took sannyas there. Then from there he came to Radha Damodar temple. There he did bhajan. He prepared himself before coming here. Because if you have no bhajan power, you cannot change. If you have no power and no acharan, people will not follow you. That is why apane achari dharma jivare sikhaye. Apane na koile dharma sikhana jaye. If you don't practice, you cannot teach also. If you teach also, nobody will listen to you. What you are teaching, you have to follow first you. You have to make practical yourself. For example, if I tell don't smoke, then before speaking, I have to give up smoking. Then only people will follow. If I will tell, oh, smoking is injurious to health, you should not smoke. But if I will smoke in front of him, nobody will follow. Nobody follow. If I tell smoking is injurious to health, you should not smoke, then to whom I am speaking, he should not see that one day I am smoking. If he will see one day that I am smoking, he will not follow. That's why acharana all of you know. Acharana is most important. Apane Mahaprabhu told, apane acharya dharma jivare sikhaye. Apana na koile dharma sikhana jaye. First we have to practice, then we have to teach, then it will become powerful. Everybody will, it will go to heart. But what we don't, everyone has experience of among us also. What you don't really practice, if you tell, you will feel guilty also inside. Power will not come.
Hypocrisy.
Yeah. Hypocrisy, you will feel. You may not tell, but inside you will feel guilty. Oh, I am telling, but I am not following this. You will feel guilty. But what you are practicing yourself, you can speak very strongly. Power will come. So if we don't practice, you cannot speak also powerful. So first of all, we have to practice. And Prabhupada did this practically. He practiced Krishna consciousness first from household life, then gave up, then special practice to get power for Western country preaching. He did bhajan in Radha Damodar temple. Yeah. Then he got blessings of Radha Damodar, blessings of Rupa Goswami, blessings of Jiva Goswami, blessings of Kaviraj Goswami. So what he wrote, Goswami wrote in the Kartik, in the board, what he written?
He said that I eternally reside in the rooms of Radha Damodar, and that Radha Damodar Mandir is the center of the spiritual world.
Yeah. He wrote. So he prepared himself there. So, for example, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada also, before starting preaching, he chanted Satakoti, 100 crore, Harinam. 10 years almost.
10 years.
Billion names.
Yeah. After 10 years of chanting, then he started preaching. Yeah. So without preaching, without practice, preaching will not be successful. So more all of you know this, then when time will more we will see. Jai Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki.
One time, one of my godbrothers,
Huh?
was commenting and glorifying Srila Prabhupada's commentaries, his Bhaktivedanta purports. And so he was with Srila Prabhupada, and he was glorifying what he has written in his books. He was saying it touches my heart so deeply.
Yeah.
How are you able to formulate such incredible commentaries on these ancient Sanskrit verses? and Srila Prabhupada was telling him, because Krishna comes and dictates to me what to say.
Yeah.
And this devotee was new, he couldn't understand. And so, you mean Krishna directly? And another devotee interrupted him and said, well, Krishna inspires him in his heart what to say. And Prabhupada said, no. He comes personally and tells me what to write. He guides my pen.
That's the power of Prabhupada.
Yeah.
So I remember I had read other books, other Bhagavad Gitas, but when I read Bhagavad Gita as it is, when I was 17 years old, 1973, it completely, I was completely touched. And when I read Najayate Mrite Vakarachan Naim Bhuva Bhavina Vanabuya Ajo Nitya Shashvatam Yam Brahno Nahanyate Hanyamani Sarire. For the soul there is never birth nor death, nor having once been as he ever ceased to be. He's unborn, eternal. He's not slain when the body is slain. When I read that verse, and when I read Srila Prabhupada's explanations in Bhagavad Gita, I realized my whole 17 years had been lived to get me to that point when I was opening up the pages of his Bhagavad Gita and hearing him talk about those instructions that Krishna gave to Arjuna 5,000 years ago. It was amazing experience that Srila Prabhupada was putting so much in his Bhaktivedanta purports. Srila Prabhupada.
It's 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare.
Hey, Maharaj! Sing Hare Krishna,
Hey, group photo, group photo.
Hare I don't even know if you're Buddhist, but like, you know, I'm into
Buddha is another name for God.
right.
And it's not God himself on the side. Krishna is the personal.
Yeah.